Hey guys, it's Ariel and welcome to my March and April wrap up. So, as you guys know, I've been combining wrap ups. I did it with January and February, and now I'm doing it with March and April. Sorry this is so late. I've been kind of busy, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into it so I can upload this quickly. But I only read 6 books this month, these past couple months. 3 in March and 3 in April. So let's go ahead and get into it. These are all the books I read. So let's go ahead and start with March. So in March, I read The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. It was super cute. I loved it. It was a super adorable story. This is basically about a ballerina named Bree and her NFL player best friend. So basically, this is about Bree and Nathan. And Nathan is an NFL player and Bree is a ballerina. But Bree ends up getting in a car accident, which causes her not to be able to dance anymore. So she opens her own ballet studio. And she's kind of struggling with this studio. She's having a hard time making rent. So Nathan helps her a little bit. And after they get drunk one night, Bree tells this reporter from TMZ about her feelings about Nathan. So the reporter suggests that they fake date. So this is a fake dating trope, best friends to lovers. I loved the way that they did best friends to lovers. The banter was adorable. Everything they said was adorable. It was a really, really cute read and I highly suggest it. I ended up giving this a 4 out of 5 stars. Next, I read Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino. To be honest, I don't remember a lot about this book, which is weird because I just read it. This is about 2 friends who meet in college and they kind of are feeling something more, but something happens to where they don't talk anymore, which causes her to wonder what went wrong. Until a couple years later, they find each other at this train station, but the thing is, they're like blocked off by the train technically. So he tries to say hi to her, they try to speak, but they kind of get rushed out of there, so they don't get a chance to speak to each other. So all of the feelings flood back. She's wondering why he lost contact and why everything went wrong, and they kind of get back in touch. I think this was a really cute story. The ending was really good. I think the plot twist was amazing. I ended up giving this 4 stars. But to be honest, I think the ending just made it for me. But yeah, I highly recommend this read. Next, y'all, Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I put off reading this for so long. Don't ask me why. I just thought, like, a book about a band was not my forte. Y'all, I read this book and then I watched the TV show. Watch the freaking TV show now. Because, oh my god, I was obsessed, like, for weeks. So basically, this is about Daisy. It says Daisy is a girl coming of age in LA in the late 60s, sneaking into clubs on the Sunset Strip, sleeping with rock stars, and dreaming of singing at the Whiskey Go-Go. Her voice is getting noticed, and she has the kind of heedless beauty that makes people do crazy things. Also getting noticed is the Six, a band led by the brooding Billy Dunn. On the eve of their first tour, his girlfriend Camila finds out she's pregnant, and with the pressure of impending fatherhood and fame, Billy goes a little wild on the road. Daisy and Billy cross paths when a producer realizes that the key to supercharge success is to put the two together. What happens next will become the stuff of legends. The making of that legend is chronicled in this riveting novel, writing as if it were the oral history of one of the biggest bands of the 70s. In Daisy Jones and the Six, Taylor Jenkins Reid brilliantly captures an unforgettable place and time in an utterly distinctive voice. So basically, I've been listening to Daisy Jones and the Six music, and this book makes you feel like they're real people. You go through both of their lives, all of the band members' lives. Daisy's life, and it's kind of an interview style, and you don't understand who's interviewing them until the very end, and holy moly, this is just a masterpiece. That's all I gotta say. It's a masterpiece. Really need to read it. Like I said, I've been listening to Daisy Jones and the Six on the radio, and it's hard to concept that they're not real people, especially after watching the TV show. I felt like I was just watching a documentary, so I highly suggest read this, go watch the show, you will not forget it. Now for April, I just Goodreads back to back to back, guys, just amazing reads. Next, I read Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I ended up giving this a 4 stars. Perfect cozy read, guys. Cozy rom-com. I just wanted to read this on a rainy day where I'm just stuck inside. I would reread this a million times over. It is so freaking cute, and if you want those comfy vibes, this will definitely give it to you. So basically, this is about Knox and Naomi. It says Knox Morgan doesn't tolerate drama, especially in the form of a stranded runaway bride. Naomi Witt is on the run, not just from her fiancé and a church full of well-wishers, but from her entire life. Although, if you ask her, Naomi's riding to the rescue of her estranged hot mess of a twin, Tina, to knock him out a rough around the edges town where disputes are settled the old-fashioned way, with fists and beer, usually in that order. Too bad for Naomi, her evil twin hasn't changed at all. After helping herself to Naomi's car and cash, Tina leaves behind something unexpected, the niece Naomi didn't know she had. Now she's a guardian to an 11-year-old going on 30 with no car, no money, and no plan. There's a reason the spirited bad boy barber doesn't get involved with high-maintenance women, especially not type A romantic ones. But since Naomi's life imploded right in front of him, the least Knox can do is help her out of her jam. And just as soon as she stops getting into new trouble, he can lead her alone and get back to his quiet, solitary life. At least that's the plan. Found family, small town. Knox is amazing. He helps this girl out, and you can feel them fall in love as this story goes on. And it's just realistic. I feel like this is a very realistic romance, and I feel like I gravitate towards more realistic romances anyway. I just feel like I know them. You get to know them so well, and you root for them the whole entire time. And this little girl is so good in this. Obviously, little girls in books act like grown adults, so obviously she's not going to act like an 11-year-old, but I think she really added to the story, and I really suggest this book. You will not regret it. The next book I read was actually a reread just because I've been wanting to reread this book. This is Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. This is one of my favorite books. It was a 5 stars before, it's a 5 stars now. This is about Archer and Bree. So basically this is about Archer, and Archer doesn't speak. Brianna doesn't really know why he doesn't speak. She goes into this town running from something, and all of the people are like, don't talk to Archer, like he's really weird, he's a weirdo, which he doesn't talk, so that makes him look like a weirdo. So other than other people who just stay away from him, she gets more interested in him because he doesn't talk. So she ends up sneaking up on him a couple times, and they form this connection, and basically they help each other out. They both have so much trauma, and they kind of fix each other with their love. It's so good. Please read it. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. It's such a beautiful story. This is gonna be a book that I'm telling my kids to read, that I'm telling my grandkids to read. It's definitely one that I think is going to be a classic. Now, lastly but certainly not least, I read Heartbones by Colleen Hoover. I actually read this while I was on vacation, and first of all, I absolutely love this cover. It's so freaking beautiful. The colors are amazing. I could look at this cover all day. I will keep this book just because of the cover. Now, for the story, I ended up giving this a 3 stars. I thought I would like it a lot better. This is basically about Bea and Samson. It says Bea comes from a life of poverty and neglect. Samson comes from a family of wealth. When the two find themselves spending the summer as neighbors, they soon realize money is one of the few things they don't have in common. Their bond is too intense to ignore, but with only one summer separating them from the start of their new lives on opposite ends of the country, Bea and Samson decide to stay in the shallow end of a summer fling. What they don't realize is that a rip current is coming and it's about to drag both of their hearts out to sea. So I felt like this book was like a typical love story. I don't think there was anything special about it, to be honest. That's why I ended up giving it a 3 stars. I just didn't love this book. She's definitely made a lot better books. Still, if you would like to read it, it's not a bad story by any means. It's still a very cute story. Nothing popped out at me though. It was just very bland, and the plot twist was even like, it caught me off guard, but it wasn't like world changing to where I would change my rating. So I would read this if you like Colleen Hoover and you just want to read her whole backlist, but I don't know if I would necessarily suggest it. So that is going to be all for my March and April wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell to get notified every time I post. Thank you guys so much for watching. These past 2 months were full of really good reads. I just hope I can read more. I'm kind of in a reading slump right now, but hopefully we will get out of it with the summer months coming. I tend to read more in the summer than the winter. Doesn't make sense to me either. But I hope you guys have a good day. Bye, love.